galactic civil war spreads across the sun. From the heights of Coruscant to fiery Mustafar, to fight the evil empire, for people join the fray. These are the heroes of the Hydian Way.
Welcome to Heroes of the Hydian Way. This is a Star Wars actual play podcast, and we're playing in Edge Studios' Age of Rebellion system. This is Arc 3, Episode 20 of The Hard Road. And I'm Ben, the GM for this adventure, and I'm using they-them pronouns.
I'm Erica Goodwitch. I play Norin Gremian, they-them, engineer scientist.
I'm Henry. I use she-they pronouns, and I'll be playing as Isasal An, who uses she-her pronouns, and she's a ship pilot and captain.
And I'm Joy. I use she, her, and I play Keidra Javik. She uses she, her. She's a sharpshooter. Pew, pew.
To get to know our characters a little bit better, we get one to ask everyone a question. And today's question is Keidra's.
She's going to go up where the captain is and while she's flying, and Norin's probably going to be there talking. And she's going to say, "Excuse me, I have a very important question that's just been bothering me all day. I need to ask you, okay? What would be a perfect date for you? Like when you go to somebody who you love, what does a perfect date look like for you?"
Isasal kind of smiles at Keidra, looks at Norin, and then just like, well, a perfect date would probably be... You wouldn't expect this from me, but I'll walk through a museum. Just a nice, quiet museum, enough for hushed tones and talking where you can hear your dates, but not pay attention to anyone else. And you reflect on art or history or so many things I don't know in this galaxy. And just learn, understand the person and how they look at it and how you look at it. I can do a lot of things. There's excitement in my daily life. If I'm going to be with someone, it'd be nice to have a quiet moment.
I like that. That is so nice. What about you, Norn?
Norin has the Kyvek in the headlights expression. Like they're dying a little bit on the inside.
Keidra's oblivious.
I don't really go on dates, so I haven't put a lot of thought into it.
Oh, well, let's think. If you were to go on a date today, let's say, Isabel to go on a date, where would you want to go?
Yes, Norn, where would you like me to take you?
I mean, the museums are always nice. That sounded nice, Isasel. Great friend date.
Oh, good. Okay, so for me, it'd be camping. I want to go camping and see the stars and have a bonfire and just have wonderful, nice fire with warmth and stuff. And we can roast, meat and fish and marshmallows and stuff like that. It'd be so fun and romantic, and then get to sleep under the stars. And I think that for me, that's what I'd want. But I'd have to find somebody who is willing to do that with me. I haven't found that yet, but that's okay, one day. But I was just curious because it's just been on my mind all day. I don't know why.
I wonder why, Keidra. And you know what, Nora, do you know any good museums, either on Coruscant or...
You know what? I need a calf refill.
I'll
Bye.
go get one.
Nope. Bye.
I turned to look at Isabel, pat her on the shoulder. I tried. Okay, goodbye.
There's a little giant grin on her face of just and she's just pulling up a list of museums on Muriel and on Coruscant.
Let's start with the hyperdrive roll. Norn will be assisted by a Z and 3 of the M's.
Okay. I've got 2 ranks of inventor, so I can add and the M's.
M's.
So Aziz and the M's, so that's just 1 boost die from them, or 2 boost dice?
It would be 2 boost dice.
Okay, so that's 4 boost dice so far. You're not making me do any researcher, so...
This is more of the mechanics end of things.
Yeah.
Difficulty on things. Time pressure is going to be 1. Okay, this is actually going to be a somewhat nasty roll, but also makes sense that it's a nasty roll. It will be 2 red, 2 purple, and a setback.
Well, I also have 2 ranks of gearhead, so I can remove 2 setbacks from mechanics checks.
I used a destiny point to actually give 1 for the next roll and being available, but 1 of the 2 reds is from the destiny point, just so that everyone's not getting a little on the panic side about, oh no, more.
So, exclamation point R. Mechanics check. Yellow, 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 green. 4 boost die, so B, 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 B. And then that was red, what?
2 red, 2 purple.
Okay. And I removed that setback that you imposed.
Yep. Which is the reason why I didn't bring it up.
Okay. 1 success, 6 advantages, and a despair.
Oh, lordy.
I mean, this is some pirate nonsense that I'm doing to our hyperdrive.
I mean, yes, it is.
And it's pirate nonsense that was never really fully... I don't know. I haven't read Phase 3 of the High Republic, but I don't think... if people knew how path engines work, I think it would be more of a thing in modern times. So...
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. There are 6 advantage on the roll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you want to get for the 6 advantage? Because 6 advantage is kind of impressive.
Let's see. Because I don't know what to do with those advantages, and it is a lot of advantages. It's like enough advantages to count as a triumph on those kinds of tables.
I have an idea.
Unless you got something. Like, your plan is that when we blip into hyperspace out of real space, they instead think that our ship exploded and crashed?
Yeah, it's like, it's falling down because the transponder's going to be on the bus we're going to leave behind.
Yeah, I would like our 6 advantages to lend to that illusion.
Okay. I can totally go with that.
That's where I would like them to go.
Okay, now I'm trying to figure out something that is not... Is if I just have the hyperdrive fail at the end of the trip, then that's doing the same thing twice in one episode, and it feels a little hacky. But that's really what I'm tempted for. Okay, honestly, I'm going to bank it for a moment to see where the rest of everything goes. Because I'm just going to start keeping track of number of successes, number of despairs. Why do I have a feeling that... And number of triumphs, if we're wanting to just bank those eventually. But Norn is doing their thing on the hyperdrive. A place where we'll call it half of the advantage goes to, which is because the transponder is tied into the engines and the hyper engine, that as Norn is doing all of their upgrades in that, the transponder is getting in the way of their modifications, so it is able to be extracted by doing some of these modifications. There's enough advantage there that the transponder is out intact and able to be powered by some other thing, such as all the power on a bus.
I found the table for spending advantage, triumph, threat, and despair results when crafting engines.
Okay.
Because it might give you some ideas too. 2 of the advantages can go towards enhanced output, which increases the craft speed by 1 to a maximum of 6. And also can go to fine-tuned circuits, which can increase the craft system strain threshold by 1. which will probably be useful. Enhanced power to deflectors.
Okay, I actually know what the despair. Going off of the table, I'm going off of. It's a relatively low threat one, no less. It's going to be a treacherous to repair engine from now on.
That tracks.
Okay, doing all this stuff is now harder to repair. It's a bit more dangerous to repair, so every time someone's doing a repair on critical hits for the Codfather, it gets upgraded once.
Thank you for not inflicting 5 strain on me.
Having Norn pass out is just... it's not dramatic enough.
So increasing our speed and our system strain threshold would probably be useful for our illusion and chances of making it out.
As Norn's doing that, early on in it, Norn's been able to extract the transponder and hand it over to Lenore and Kedra to start doing the modifications to the boss, which I'm going to go with aren't all that hard. It would be along the same lines as wiring in a radio into a car. Put the black wire with the black wires and the red wires with the red wires and you're good. We've got a fairly forlorn group of Lenore and Kedra out at the bus. The floor of the bus, just in behind the driver's station, is lifted up, and on one of the seats is the transponder. That is roughly suitcase size. Yeah, let's go suitcase size. With a bunch of wires and cables running off of it. And a big, long one that looks to be possibly an antenna.
All right, now, Kedra, can you handle this cable? Run it up and down the central aisle. Just lay it as flat as possible, and if we do that, then they've got a good chance of picking up their transponder.
Oh, yes.
Normally it goes through the engine windings, but here we have to fake it out.
Okay, I will lay it down as flat as possible and make it nice and neat. She's going to take the cable and she's going to try to lay it down and like as flat as possible and as neat as possible all the way down. She's like giving all of her concentration to this. Like this is the most important thing right now because she doesn't want to think about other things.
No, absolutely. Okay, I do want to get a roll off of you.
Okay.
I am thinking that it is going to be... Actually, yeah, it is going to be a skullduggery check.
Skullduggery.
Like, it could be a mechanics check, it could be a skullduggery check. I'm... Like, this is definitely a gussy something up. Could go with other suggestions, but...
I'll take skullduggery.
Those are the ones that just sort of pop to me. And, like, this is a roll for the whole shebang on it. I'll give you a boost for the next one. This is going to be a 1 red, 1 purple check.
Okay. Red, 1 purple.
And 1 setback on account of time.
And 1 setback. Okay.
Yeah.
Skullduggery.
And yes, I'm using a destiny point to get the red.
That's fine. All right, I will roll and see what happens. Okay, so I got 1 advantage and 1 despair.
Those red dice are coming for us today.
They are.
Yes.
Oh.
Keecher's a little distracted. Advantage. I don't ruin the wires.
That's fair. Okay, I'm going to go with that the actual installation goes well enough. It's a 0 failure, 0 success, like all success and failure cancel out end of a check. So I'm going to go with that it'll work, but something else is going to happen with it.
Okay.
As for the despair that got rolled with it, because apparently D1's in a mean mood today, that one I am going to bank. Because I'm going to see how the rest of the escape maneuvers go. As Keetra's sort of laying down the final bit of it, it looks to be as flat and as like non-crossing as possible. Lenore's done her stuff and just sets a hand on Keetra's shoulder. It's like,
We both have to keep going. It's the only way to do the right thing for him. If we give up, well, then it's worth nothing. And then where are we?
Yes, I agree. I'm so sorry.
Let's get back on the ship.
Okay.
Oh, where's this Lone anyway?
Lone! Lone! I'm going to start yelling, you Lone!
And just tromping, Lone comes over.
There you are, Lone!
Yes?
Lone, we've got to go onto this ship. We got to go, otherwise you'll be left behind. And I can't leave you behind. Come. We need to go.
All right. Yeah, Lone will follow you onto the ship. As he's directed to get onto the ship proper, he has to pull in a lot of his arms. You can tell that Lone is from the same design school as the M's, like the little pit droids. Pit droids get put down into like where they essentially disappear into their hats or heads. Lone's not quite that capable of reducing down, but Lone does essentially go from a fair-sized Silhouette 2 down to a very big Silhouette 1 by shortening almost all of the weight-bearing pistons in his arms and actuators. So as they're walking through halls, like they very quickly go to the engine room where they can at least be moved around. When they're walking through the halls of the normal parts of the ship, it's almost gelatinous cube-like where they barely fit. They can move down the hallways. They have to specifically shift every time that anything's protruding into the hallway. You can see like their head and shoulders shift to the side as something like an emergency light is there. They can't really go down any further. They can't really dance around much. It's just like translating from side to side as they then make their way to the engine room, which is thankfully a little bit bigger.
Oh, Lone, you're so big. You need to shrink a little, but no, not really. Just, be careful not to hurt the walls.
All right, Captain. Now, you were saying about this hyperspace entrance point. That's very close to the exit we came from. Oh, yes, we should be able to use that, but it's going to be one criffing jump.
I know. It's going to be difficult, but hopefully whatever changes to the engines that Norn's making will help us get in there. Our thing is, we're gonna need to plan the planet's rotation to that exit point. We can't be trying to go around the planet to get to it. It has to be directly straight out and straight to it.
Oh, yes, I definitely see. Thankfully, it does look like we're coming up on that in a relatively short amount of time.
We do need to take into account that we're not going to have the pod with us. We're going to have a lot more speed. There's a lot of changes to the ship and what we're about to do that we're going to take into account. So, Throwaway, it's time for a captain's best friend, math.
All right. So before we go to make astrogation checks, I just want to be very clear with what Norin has done to the engine. The thing with the path drives and everything that would have been recorded and what Norin is trying to replicate is that the Nihil could essentially drop in and out of hyperspace on a dime. Like, the thing that made the holdover maneuver possible in Resistance is the fact, and the thing that makes these planetary blockades effective is the fact that ships have to go to a specific spot, and then there is that whole runway of while they're still in real space before they get into hyperspace, right?
Mm-hmm.
Norin is essentially allowing us not to need a runway.
Still need to get out of the atmosphere on account of atmosphere and hyperspace is bad.
Yeah. The Nihil could jump in and out in atmosphere too, but we're not the Nihil.
I mean, there's that, but also, like, the whole it might do something to the atmosphere that is
We've
unwanted.
Yeah, we
done a lot to
already
this
dumped
atmosphere.
a bunch of Tavana gas into the atmosphere.
Yeah, if we were to
Let's not do
jump in
more.
atmosphere, I don't want to blow up the sky next.
Yeah.
But yeah, the math Isazel's doing is she's trying to get the closest out of the quickest route as soon as the measurements of what counts as out of atmosphere versus in atmosphere, like just enough where it's just like the minimum amount we need to be out to, not cause another natural disaster in this planet. There's been so many. There's so many so fast.
Trolley would have a 3 intellect and would have 1 for astrogation.
I have 2 in astrogation, and I'm going to use his intellect, so it'll be two yellows and a green.
All right, I'm going to go with it's a red, 2 purple, and a setback.
All right, a red, 2 purple, and a setback. What was it called again? I have Galaxy Mappers, so I'm going to get rid of that setback real quick. And I'm gonna argue for some boost. We did this jump before the other direction, but we've done this jump before. And even though most other people have not done this route of jump, we already this is our default way. So it's just going back up and down the road. It's just it helps out, and we have all the data of when we came in.
Yeah, you get a boost off of that. I'd quibble about a few of the descriptions, but in the end, you get the boost.
Yeah. With my 6 advantages, the ship's speed is up by 1 and the system strain by 2.
Nice.
Plus, we're gonna. I got full throttle. We're going to make this ship go when we go. So we got that. I'm trying to think if there's any other boost we can argue for, which is I don't have a lot. No, we're gonna go with it. It's 2 yellow, a green, a boost, a red, 2 purple. Let's hope for the best. 3 success and 2 threat.
Actually, for the threat, I know what I'm wanting to do with it. That is going to be a setback to the tractor beam roll.
Oh, that fits. All right, we have our path planned. The engines are being were worked on and fixed. As far as we know, what's it called? The transponder is in the bus, ready to go.
Yes,
it very much is just a kind of just bit by bit prepping and getting ready for the moment for everything to go, and making sure everyone's a good distance away. People know to be safe. It's just talking to doctors, letting know we talking to a couple of doctors there, just we are going to need to let them know that we're going to get help. This is not the last time anyone's going to see ISR on this planet. And then going to go say goodbye to medics and ouch. Because he's going to say goodbye to 2, because those 2 helped keep her, her internal organs internal.
Mm-hmm.
That is important.
Yeah. At one point, she does look at her her midsection, kind of looks to make sure her sternum tattoo is still okay, because it's I realize she's oh, that's right, the scarring is under it. So I was that could look cool later.
I am thinking that we've got all the prep stuff ready to go. The last thing to do is sort of the final execution of the transponder thing. Just sort of describing the initial part is it's sort of just a montage of, okay, the hyperdrive stuff is done, the transponder stuff is done, the calculating of the path is done, all that is done. I'm figuring everyone's now on the bridge of the Wayfarer. On the gunnery station, there is a second set of controls for the bottom of the ship. There's the quad laser cannon that's there, and then now there's the tractor beam. Both are wired in. You can do them direct. There is a turret that you could go into the quad laser cannons, or for the tractor beam. But there's also secondary controls from the bridge, because, well, we have a bridge. It's a big enough ship to have a bridge, so you have gunnery stuff from the bridge. especially on something this small. Engines are going. They're prepped for pod disconnect, but they aren't really wanting to do that until actual go time. So the mechanical and then the magnetic locks, keeping the pod on spring. Like the magnets go, then the mechanical latches let go in a somewhat exaggerated fashion, like a ping, 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 going down the entire line. The Codfather leaps back a couple feet, and as the bulk of the ship starts moving up, the pod is still sitting there, and anyone who's looking down can see a crush from the refugee camp moving towards the pod. You can see on the top the medic symbol on the pod. There is a metallic pink of something somewhat nimbly landing on the top of the Codfather as the ship starts to rise up. But it's at this point where I'm wanting to get a tractor beam roll. This roll will be as a whole for picking up and releasing the bus. As you're rising up on everyone's screens, I'm assuming everyone's got like at least a little bit of the scanners up showing, oh yes, we're moving, but the Codfather is somehow getting further away from the Codfather, as in the transponder's actually working. This is going to be a 1 red. Okay, it's going to be 1 red because it just plain difficulty time, and just if things go bad, it makes sense to have a despair on the roll. I'll use a destiny point for that. Difficulty on sizing would put up to having 2 purples. And then on account of the whole time, both time pressure for we gotta get going and also the time pressure on being as exact as possible for letting go, I will toss in a setback.
And what variety of check is this?
Sorry, it's a gunnery check.
Gunnery sergeant?
I can do gunnery. So a red and 2 purples and a setback?
Correct.
Okay. Can I upgrade one of mine? I'm going to upgrade one of mine and use a destiny point.
And yeah, there's kind of want to get a reroll on that.
Okay.
Because there is one thing that you may not think applies, but does apply, which is true aim.
Oh, I can use true aim?
Mm-hmm. Because this is technically a ranged attack. It messes around with engines and that, but it does qualify as a ranged attack.
All right, so then if I do... Because I didn't know if being gunnery.
I mean, if you want, you could just do a yellow and a boost. And we just add the 2 rolls together.
Okay, so just do a yellow and a boost.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't help.
D1 is spicy tonight.
He is. So I failed, but I got an advantage, right?
And a triumph.
2 advantages
2.
and a triumph.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe where I was shooting, I'm not doing very good. But I hit something else in the process. That is good.
I'm going to go with a quality, not a quantity thing. The bus is picked up and you're able to get... If the bus doesn't get lifted, then the entire plan is kind of thrown out the window, and that would be bad. Whereas with this, it feels more like the bus comes up and then something's not going to go right with the release or something like that. On the other hand, there is 2 advantage and a triumph.
Let's see. Advantage that if you're allowing us to get the bus, then the advantage is that like it can go through orbit, like go through, the atmosphere.
Okay.
And triumph maybe it doesn't do exactly what we want, like in the area of where we want to like have it detonate and whatever, but maybe like it does do what we kind of intended for it to do, just not in the same location. So it kind of like...
I have an idea for the triumph.
Okay.
Kind of going direction you're going, because originally we wanted to like it to come up and then fall back down, so when it lands, it looks like, oh, there's a crashed ship. Instead, I'm gonna take remember something that we did with Lone a long time ago. Remember when we missed throwing Lone, and Lone just kept going?
Yes.
Similar, just like the bus is like the whole detachment thing. It's not gonna go the way we planned it. It's not going down. It's not gonna look like something crashed and then just find wreckage. It's gonna go up, since especially with the kickoff we're gonna have. So they're probably gonna find a bus later. It's not gonna look like wreckage, but it's just like it's gonna at least do what we want, which is distract Imperials on where this ship went and how we got out.
All right.
I like that idea.
It's just that eventually they're gonna realize, because taking that to spare earlier too, it's just like they're gonna realize more of someone was being tricky and not just, oh, a ship crashed.
Yeah. That works.
Before we take off, because the two clinks made me remember something. Just like you saw it goes on the radio. Jones, if you're gonna get in the ship, now is the time. This is no time to be extra.
Of course, that's what that was.
100%.
And you hear the top airlock close up.
Always dramatics with that one. That's why we love them. Norn, you still got to figure out how that gate works. So next, I'm guessing, is the piloting check of getting out of Atmo.
Yeah. Now, getting out of Atmo is going to be extra on top of the normal thing, because I'm assuming you're going to be going flat out, like full speed.
Oh, yeah.
And you can go a little extra speed now.
Oh, actually,
Good
extra
point.
beyond that, because there's something I got. Where are you? Let me get the exact what I got to do. Okay. I'm going to do something real quick to add to our roll, because I have to roll improve for full throttle separate from our piloting check. So I'm going to attempt a full throttle maneuver, which is an average difficulty piloting check to what was specifically increase the ship's speed by 1 by number of cunning. So I'm going to increase the ship's speed by 2. It's already 4. When we boost it, it would be 6 if I succeed at this. So I just want to see if we're going to have...
It's 4 with what I did.
Yeah, 4 with what you did. It would be going to 6.
So I'm just going to roll that check to see if we're going to have the extra power. Oh, we are definitely going to have... We're going to go fast.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. So now I'm ready to roll the piloting check to get us out of Atmo and set off our plan that's about to go very, very different. So what do I need to roll?
Sorry, the speed thing is actually kind of messing with my head, because I'm wanting to make sure which thing I'm halving. No. I was finally able to find it. It actually is what I was thinking.
Cool.
The difficulty for piloting is it's a little bit of a weird thing, because you take the speed and half the strain and mash those together. So the faster you go, the just more difficult it gets. And then technically speed 6 provides another upgrade on account of there is only 5 difficulty dice allowed to be applied that aren't setback.
Oh, it's about to be insane.
All right. Difficulty for the roll is going to be, you're going speed 6, is a Silhouette 5 ship, and there's a handling of -2. So speed 6 means, in theory, it would be 6 difficulty dice, but there's actually no difficulty dice past 5, so that turns into an upgrade. The 5 Silhouette gets halved and rounded up to turn into another 3 upgrades, so that turns into 4 red, 1 purple, and 2 setback due to the handling.
I'm so glad I have Skill Jockey. I'm so glad I have that. So my piloting check is 3 yellows on its own. I have my co-pilot, so I'm getting a boost out of that. Someone use up a destiny point for me, because we're going to get another green out of that, because no, we're throwing everything we got at this. And from everything we were doing earlier, did we had any, floating boost or upgrades from the engine or anything?
I threw all 6 advantages into the speed and system strain.
Oh, wait, from the maneuver from my full throttle maneuver earlier, can I use those? How many boosts can I get out of those 3 advantage?
I go with 2.
All right, cool. Oh wait, since you had that to spare earlier, I don't think we really ever used. Can I just upgrade that last purple to red? Because might as well.
Nah, I actually like the red being in part of the what's happening with the bus. That sounded really good.
All right, so right now we're sitting at 3 yellow, a green, 3 blue, 4 red, and a purple. Do we have anything else to add in here? Do we got any secret boost any of us could think of?
For a piloting check?
Yeah.
How many yellows and greens do we have?
Yeah, 3 yellows, 1 green, 3 blues, and then our 4 reds and a purple. I think we're ready to go. I got a backup to something if this goes wrong, and I really hope I don't have to use that. But we're just gonna roll them and see where they go.
Oh, so good.
1 success, 7 advantage. So
thank you, D1.
Oh, D1, thank you, D1, so much.
Can't you take like what 5 and turn it into a triumph?
I mean, 7 advantage you can do pretty much anything with. I'm come up with things, and I will probably say yes.
Okay. I have an idea. Because remember how we were talking about earlier? We're pretty much like that bus is going into space. So, how many advantages would it take of when we kind of jump and the bus gets flung to hit a roaming ship like a TIE fighter or something?
Okay, I do like that. I don't think it's going to be that small, but yes. It's going to be either one of the Arquitins or,
just all of a sudden transponder goes on, they're like, what's going on? And it just slams into the side of the ship. Even if it does no damage to it, they're just going to be like, should this crash into us?
And so then go back to Rogue One. Yeah, no, I'm here for that. You essentially, the Codfather is going to jump pretty much between the angled part of a Star Destroyer and the bridge tower of the Star Destroyer. And straight through that gap. The bus, on the other hand, it's kind of going down. So it's going to be bouncing and exploding along the angled part of the angry triangle.
So we essentially blip right out of real space at the same time that our transponder bus hits a ship. It goes poof.
Yes, exactly. Especially with the transponder on it, it looks exactly like the Codfather has exploded on the surface of a Star Destroyer.
As far as they know, a ship just exploded on them. It takes Issa's a moment as the blue lights are going, and just she kind of takes a moment to and just breathes finally. And she's like, I need a moment. Can anyone make some calf?
Yes, I can make calf. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm totally fine. You see,
You are
Issa's
so
hands
good.
Whoa, Issa's right hand is shaking. The left hand is still not moving.
You are the best, Captain. You fly so very well. Look, you just did some awesome stuff. She thinks that was everything was done on purpose, and it was all planned.
She kind of just looks at Tro and the rest of the group right there. It's okay, I think we could take a moment to rest in shifts. Just think. Does anyone need some calf? I think we all need a calf.
Yeah. She's just gonna walk to the nearest calf machine and start to make some calf for everybody.
Norin's already gone. We made the jump. They see hyperspace. Everything's fine. They're going to their bunk and locking the door behind them.
He's still gonna take the calf when it comes and start telling people, like, all right, those who are not necessary for getting us through hyperspace, please go rest. Take a moment. I'll take care of the ship. I got the pretty good nap before all of this started.
Okay. When she's done making the calf, Keeter's gonna head to her bunk, but she's gonna have a hard time falling asleep.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Heroes of the Hydian Way. You can find show updates at linktree/The Hydian Way, and you can find me on the socials at Deuterium Ice.
You can find me, Erica, in all of my mercenary work at linktree/Erica Goodwitch.
You can find me, Henry, everywhere as at SimDisorder with one Y and one I in that order.
And you can find me, Joy, on the Other Place podcast season 2 as Talana, and live on twitch.tv/joyfullyme2, playing a variety of games.
And we are all at thehydianway.com, where you can find previous episodes and previous seasons.
You can find more episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Plus, you can help us out by rating, reviewing, and subscribing.
You can holocom us at heroes@thehydianway.com, and you can find merch at tpublic.com/user/thehydianway.
If you like what we do and want to support the show, you can subscribe
With a calf subscription at code/fee.com/thehydianway.
I'm sorry, Captain. I wasn't able to get there in time.
And when Jones has the captain by herself, he comes up to her looking as abashed as a BX commando droid can. His mustache is drooped down as low as you can, looking about as sorrowful as Kedra or Lenore has been, and puts down a comm on the console in front of the captain.
I was unable to get there in time. By the time I got to where the comlink was, he was gone.
He still kind of just picks up the comm and kind of just like grabs it and like holds it against her. And she kind of just like breathes out and then breathes in. And she just like sits on her chair. She just crosses her legs on it and sits on it and just starts breathing. And it just goes, he'll find himself to us one day. You didn't see a body. If I know Shen, that means he's not dead. Trust me on this one, Jones. It's a feeling I have. This won't be the last time we see him. Don't know when or how. Or she kind of like looks at herself or where. I'll see Shen, but I know I will. We have to have hope. If we don't have hope, what do we have? Thank you, Jones. Thank you for this.
Of course, Captain.
You are dismissed, Jones. I'll take care of the bridge from here. I have a lot to think about.
Ma'am, do not start grumbling and groaning at me. Get out. Go. Go. This is why you're not supposed to be able to get in here.